Opening. Silence plus truth. Money does not fail. Money has never failed anyone. What fails is an invisible loyalty. A loyalty that does not belong to the present, a loyalty that does not belong to logic, a loyalty that does not belong to effort, intelligence, or talent. It belongs to a destiny of loss. And until this loyalty is seen, money will always seem unstable, distant, or unsafe. The great misunderstanding about money. Most people believe money is emotional. Others believe money is rational. Some believe money is spiritual. But money is none of these. Money is systemic. Money only flows where there is permission to keep. Money only stays where there is permission to receive more. Money only grows where there is permission to surpass. And many people do not have this permission, not because of lack of effort, but because of loyalty. What is invisible loyalty? Invisible loyalty is when your nervous system says, "If I succeed, I betray someone. If I prosper, I abandon someone. If I keep money, I break belonging." So you don't lose money consciously. You return it unconsciously. You spend it. You mismanage it. You give it away. You attract crises. You sabotage timing. And then you say, "Money doesn't work for me." But money worked perfectly. It followed the order you didn't know you were obeying. Money does not disobey family orders. If in your family, money brought conflict, money caused separation, money humiliated someone, money destroyed dignity, then money learned one thing in your system: here, I am dangerous. So when money comes close to you, your system protects you from it. Not because money is bad, but because belonging is more important than abundance. The hidden sentence. Every financial block hides a sentence. A sentence like, "I will not have more than my father. I will not live better than my mother. I will not succeed where they failed. I will not be happy if they suffered." This sentence is rarely spoken, but it is deeply obeyed. And money listens to sentences, not affirmations. Why effort doesn't break this? That's why working harder doesn't solve it. Studying more doesn't solve it. Thinking positively doesn't solve it. Because this is not a mindset problem, it is a belonging problem. The system asks one question: do I still belong if I win? If the answer is no, loss becomes love. Loss as an act of love. Many people lose money as an act of love. They fail as an act of loyalty. They struggle as an act of respect. They stay small as an act of belonging. And they call it bad luck. But it is devotion. The moment of breaking the spell. The spell breaks when you can say, internally, honestly, calmly, "I see your suffering. I honor your losses. I keep your place in my heart. And now, I choose a different destiny. Not against you. Not above you. But after you." Money needs adult permission. Money does not respond to the wounded child. Money responds to the adult. The adult who can say, "I can belong and prosper. I can love you and surpass you. I can honor the past without repeating it." When this sentence becomes true in the body, money stops leaving, because it no longer needs to. Money is not a test. It is a mirror. Money doesn't test morality. Money doesn't test spirituality. Money reflects systemic alignment. If money disappears, something is misaligned. If money stagnates, something is unfinished. If money collapses, something ancient is calling for recognition. Not punishment. Recognition. The final truth. Money does not fail. Money has never failed. What fails is the invisible loyal Taito, a destiny that is not yours to repeat. When loyalty shifts, money reorganizes. Silently. Naturally. Respectfully. Closing. Integration. You don't need to fight money. You need to ask, who am I being loyal to when I lose? And when that loyalty is seen, money no longer needs to disappear to prove love. When money leaves, it is trying to say something. Every time money leaves your life unexpectedly, it is not random. It is a message, not a punishment, not a mistake, not bad luck. A message from the system saying, there is something here that no longer fits. Money leaves when it is carrying a weight that does not belong to it. Money is often forced to carry guilt, loyalty, unfinished grief, invisible promises. And money is not designed to carry these things. The confusion between humility and smallness. Many people confuse humility with staying small. But humility is truth, not self-denial. True humility says, I see where I came from. I honor what was. I acknowledge the price others paid. False humility says, I must not have more. I must not go further. I must not rise. That is not humility. That is fear disguised as virtue. When prosperity feels dangerous. For some people, prosperity feels unsafe. Not because they don't want it, but because prosperity once meant being excluded, being envied, being attacked, being alone. So the body learns success equals danger, and the system chooses safety over abundance. Every time, the body decides before the mind. This is why affirmations fail, because the body decides before the mind speaks. You can say, I want money 1,000 times, but if your body says, money equals loss, the body wins. Money listens to the body. Always. The unconscious contract. Somewhere deep inside, many people signed a contract that says, I choose belonging over abundance. I choose loyalty over expansion. I choose safety over growth. This contract was not wrong. It was necessary, then. But what protected you once is now limiting you. And money respects contracts, even unconscious ones. Renegotiating the contract. The shift begins when you can say, thank you for protecting me. You kept me connected. You kept me alive. And now, I am allowed to choose more. Not in rebellion. Not in anger. In maturity. Money and the right to surpass. One of the deepest taboos in families is surpassing. Surpassing parents. Surpassing ancestors. Surpassing suffering. Many people believe surpassing equals disrespect. But in reality, surpassing is the natural movement of life. Life moves forward, not backward. When you stop yourself from surpassing, you interrupt life. And money leaves. Because money follows life. You are not here to balance the past. You are not here to compensate for ancestral losses. You are not here to suffer so others are remembered. Memory does not require repetition. Honor does not require sacrifice. Love does not require poverty. These ideas belong to trauma, not truth. When money stays when you no longer need to prove loyalty through loss. You no longer confuse love with limitation. You no longer punish yourself for surviving. Money stays when it feels welcome, not desperately wanted, not chased, not feared. Welcome. Abundance is a consequence, not a goal. Abundance is not something you force. It is something that happens when the system relaxes. When the nervous system no longer expects punishment for success. When the heart no longer believes suffering equals goodness. When the adult takes their place. The adult position. The adult says, I can hold money. I can manage money. I can keep money without guilt. I can grow without abandoning anyone. This is not arrogance. This is responsibility. And money loves responsibility. Money is attracted to stability, not desire. Money is not attracted to desire. Money is attracted to stability. The stability of someone who can receive without collapsing, apologizing, or self-sabotaging. The stability of someone who doesn't need to disappear when things go well. The deepest shift. The deepest shift is not, I deserve money. The deepest shift is, it is safe for me to have more. When safety enters the system, money stops running. Closing statement. Truth without drama. Money does not fail. Money never failed you. It simply obeyed a loyalty you were not aware of. And now that loyalty can rest. Because you are no longer living someone else's destiny. You are finally living yours. When money becomes heavy. Money becomes heavy when it is carrying something that belongs to the past. Grief that was never mourned. Injustice that was never acknowledged. Losses that were never spoken. So money becomes the messenger. It leaves, it collapses, it disappears. Not to punish, but to bring something to consciousness. Many people don't want money, they want repair. This is a hard truth. Many people don't actually want money. They want validation, recognition, repair, revenge, proof. But money cannot repair the past. And when money is used for repair, it always fails. Because money is for movement, not compensation. The fantasy of, when I have more. Some people believe, when I have more money, I will finally be free. When I have more money, I will finally be at peace. When I have more money, I will finally be enough. But money does not create freedom. Money amplifies structure. If there is tension, money amplifies tension. If there is fear, money amplifies fear. If there is order, money amplifies order. This is why sudden wealth often destroys people. Not because money is dangerous, but because it reveals what was already there. Why the system resists fast abundance. When abundance comes too fast, the system panics. Because the system asks, can you hold this without losing yourself? Can you hold this without betraying belonging? Can you hold this without collapsing? If the answer is no, money leaves before damage happens. This is protection, not punishment. The role of time. Time is essential in prosperity. Time allows the nervous system to expand. Time allows identity to catch up. Time allows safety to grow. When money comes in rhythm with the system, it stays. When money comes faster than the system can integrate, it escapes. You don't need to attract money. This may surprise you. You don't need to attract money. Money is already around you. Money is already moving. Money is already circulating. The question is not attraction. The question is retention. Can you let money stay without feeling guilty, anxious, or undeserving? The quiet shame around having more. Many people carry a quiet shame about having more. More comfort, more ease, more choices. They minimize it. They hide it. They apologize for it. And money feels that. Money does not like to be hidden. Money does not like to be apologized for. Money likes clarity. Clarity is safety for money. When you are clear about what money is, for where money goes, what money supports, money relaxes. Chaos makes money nervous. Secrecy makes money unstable. Confusion makes money leave. Clarity is not control. Clarity is respect. Money and self-trust. Money stays with people who trust themselves. Not people who are perfect. Not people who never make mistakes. But people who can say, if I make a mistake, I can repair. If I lose, I can recover. If I fall, I don't disappear. Money avoids people who collapse under error. Because money requires resilience, not perfection. The right to have without explanation. One of the most mature positions is this: I don't need to justify my prosperity. Not to parents, not to partners, not to friends, not to the past. Justification is a form of guilt. And guilt pushes money away. When money finally feels neutral. The deepest healing with money eyes when money becomes neutral. Not exciting, not frightening, not sacred, not evil. Just a resource. When money loses emotional charge, it becomes reliable. Money stops coming and going, it starts circulating. There is a big difference between money that comes and goes and money that circulates. Circulation means there is flow, there is order, there is continuity. Circulation is a sign of system health. You don't need to be special. Money does not require you to be special. Money requires you to be available. Available to manage. Available to learn. Available to take responsibility. Available to grow. Drama pushes money away. Simplicity invites it. The final integration. You don't need to chase money. You don't need to heal endlessly for money. You don't need to prove worthiness. You only need to stop using loss as a language of love. When love no longer requires loss, money no longer needs to leave. Final closing, very slow. Money does not fail. It never did. It was only asking one question. Is it safe for me to stay here now? And when the answer becomes yes, money stays. Quietly. Consistently. Without drama. When you no longer need money to prove anything. There is a moment of quiet maturity when you no longer need money to prove anything. Not to show value. Not to fix the past. Not to be seen. Not to be chosen. This is the moment money begins to trust you. Because money does not want to be used as evidence. Money wants to be used as support. Money and identity. For many people, money is tied to identity. Who am I if I have less? Who am I if I have more? Who do I become if I succeed? If identity is fragile, money becomes unstable. Money prefers people who remain themselves when numbers change. The fear of losing love. One of the deepest fears around prosperity is this. If I grow, will I still be loved? So the system chooses a familiar pain over an unfamiliar freedom. But love that requires your limitation is not love. It is survival. And survival always costs money. When you stop waiting for permission. Many people are unconsciously waiting. Waiting for parents to approve. Waiting for ancestors to rest. Waiting for someone to say, now you can. But permission does not come from the past. It comes from presence. From the adult who says, I am here now. I can choose. I take responsibility. This is when the system reorganizes. The difference between respect and imitation. Respect is seeing. Imitation is repeating. You can respect the suffering of those before you without recreating it. You can honor their limits without living inside them. When this distinction becomes clear, money is no longer blocked by memory. Money and the right to stay. Many people can make money. Few people can let money stay. Because staying requires consistency. Boundaries follow through presence. Money stays with those who stay with themselves. The end of self-punishment. Self-punishment is expensive. It costs opportunities, it costs stability, it costs time. Some people punish themselves financially for surviving what others didn't. But survival is not a crime. Life chose you to continue. And continuation includes expansion. When prosperity no longer feels like a betrayal. There is a quiet internal shift when prosperity stops feeling like betrayal and starts feeling like continuation. Not, I did better than you. But, I carried life forward. This is when guilt dissolves. And money no longer needs to leak away. Money does not want sacrifice. Money does not want sacrifice. Money wants competence. Money wants clarity. Money wants continuity. Sacrifice belongs to old survival systems. Prosperity belongs to life that feels safe to grow. The moment money becomes boring. This may sound strange, but it is true. When money becomes boring, it becomes reliable. No drama. No spikes. No collapses. Just presence. Boring money is healthy money. You are not separating. You are differentiating. Choosing a different financial destiny does not mean leaving your family behind. It means differentiating. I see you. I honor you. And I choose my path. Differentiation is love without entanglement. And money loves differentiation. The final reorganization. At some point, the system understands. I don't need to lose to belong. I don't need to struggle to be loyal. I don't need to disappear to be loved. When this understanding settles, money finally relaxes. Final declaration, very calm. Money does not fail. It never failed you. It only responded to the place you were standing. And now you are standing in your own life, with your own destiny. And money can finally meet you there. If this message touched something in you, don't ignore it. What you felt is not motivation, it is recognition. Recognition of a pattern that no longer needs to control your life. So here is my invitation to you. Stop treating money as the enemy. Stop proving love through loss. Stop repeating a destiny that was never yours to carry. Choose awareness. Choose responsibility. Choose to stand in your own place. If you are ready to move from unconscious loyalty to conscious choice, stay here. Subscribe. Share this message with someone who needs permission to grow, and allow yourself to keep listening to what life and money are trying to show you. You don't need to rush. You don't need to force anything. Just don't go back to sleep.